Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. When I first saw the headline, Total Disaster, NATO Attack, 2 Russian planes destroyed, Putin about to fall, I thought, this has all the makings of a political thriller, but where's the line between reality and hype? In today's video, we'll unpack each piece of that claim, test its plausibility, and see what's really at stake if this kind of escalation ever happened. Let's begin with the core, the planes. In recent days, Ukraine has claimed destruction of 2 Russian B-12 amphibious aircraft in Crimea. That kind of strike is unusual but not impossible. Business Insider, the B-12 is old, yes, and perhaps not among Russia's most critical assets, but striking any aircraft within contested zones demonstrates reach, audacity, and capability. The immediate question was that NATO doing it. So far, there's no solid evidence to suggest so. Most reporting links the destruction to Ukrainian operations, not NATO airstrikes. The leap from Ukrainian strike to NATO attack requires proof we do not currently have. Next, the idea of NATO intervening directly. NATO has grown more vocal and assertive in defending airspace violations. After Russian jets briefly entered Estonia's airspace, NATO scrambled interceptors, invoked Article 4 consultations, and warned that further violations would provoke responses. Some European diplomats have privately told Moscow that NATO is prepared to shoot down offending jets, but again, that is deterrence rhetoric. In real terms, NATO would be extremely cautious about directly engaging Russian military aircraft, because any such incident could drag the alliance into open war with Russia. Russia's own warnings reinforce this. Their ambassador has said shooting down Russian planes would be tantamount to war. There's also a question of geography. If the planes were destroyed over or near NATO-controlled airspace, that changes the calculus compared to being shot down deep inside war zones. Location matters. We have no confirmed report of planes being downed in NATO airspace or by NATO assets. Until that appears, the scenario remains hypothetical. Now let's turn to the third piece, which is the wildest, Putin about to fall. Let's parse that carefully. Yes, Russia is under enormous strain. Military losses, economic sanctions, internal corruption, public discontent, all of these pressures are real. Russia has allegedly lost dozens of aircraft in recent Ukrainian drone operations. But regime collapse is a different beast. Putin still controls the levers of power, the security services, military command, intelligence, party structures, and media. He's shown resilience to opposition before. And when crisis looms, regimes often tighten authoritarian control, crack down harder, suppress dissent, and consolidate power. In short, the narrative Putin falls tomorrow might make for clickbait, but in realistic terms it's unlikely, at least not imminently. A more probable scenario is increasing internal repression, possible instability in border regions or among elites, but not total collapse. Let's imagine how events could spiral. Suppose Russia loses 2 planes in a strike near contested areas. NATO issues warnings. Russia protests and threatens retaliation. If NATO or allied forces then actually shoot down a Russian aircraft entering NATO airspace, that would mark a direct clash. Russia would almost certainly respond in kind, possibly via missile strikes, cyber attacks, or escalation in neighboring theaters. The risk of miscalculation would be high. International diplomatic pressure would mount. Meanwhile, inside Russia, security agencies would clamp down on dissent, controlling narrative and punishing critics more harshly. Borders might tighten, surveillance increase, and elite infighting could surface, but Putin likely holds the reins unless some catastrophic chain reaction unfolds. Even in such a crisis, regime survival is possible via a mix of brutality and control. So where does this leave us? That headline is half exaggeration, half speculation. The destruction of Russian planes is plausible and partially confirmed by Ukraine's claim, but NATO, as attacker, remains unsupported by credible evidence, and Putin's fall highly doubtful in the immediate term. If you were to make a video around this, the strength lies in balancing dramatic narrative with strong sourcing. Present the claims, then systematically test them. Which parts are confirmed, which are plausible, which are speculative, and what the geopolitical risks are if the situation escalates. Thank you for watching. I'll leave you with one final thought. In geopolitical drama like this, truth often lies somewhere between disaster movie and cautious diplomacy. If you liked this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe. And let me know in the comments what you think. Could NATO ever directly down a Russian plane? Or is this all just talk?